Hey, welcome back. Leaders measure happiness. This is not about keeping people happy, it's more about satisfying needs, being the leader that people expect you to be, leading in a way that impacts on your team positively, adjusting your style, your way of working to bring the team with you. Leaders and teams need to align. Excellent employees in this market can be hard to find, and when we do have them, we need to keep them. Employees are taking their time, are showing more care as they move from company to company or school to school. They're interviewing schools to ensure they're going to get the best fit for them. Are you ready for that? How will you answer in an interview? When you throw that question at the end, do you have any questions for me? When a prospective employee asks, tell me about the culture of this school and how your leadership impacts on it. Now that is a fabulous question, I think. Can you answer this with depth and with authenticity? How would you respond? And then when they ask, and what evidence can you share to show me the reality of this? That your actions actually match your words. This is the reality of employing at the moment. We need to measure happiness and make sure we are working to keep our employees satisfied and meeting their needs. We have leaders who genuinely believe that they are good leaders, meeting the needs of their people. And we do have many that do. However, many leaders don't know whether they are doing a good job and whether their teams are happy. Do you? Are your team committed to you, to your vision? Do your team work in a way that keeps them with you? Do they feel safe? Do they feel they can make mistakes? Can your team ask questions? Can they try new things? I've said it before, I've read it recently. If your team's gone silent, go and ask some questions and be careful, because silence doesn't mean that they're satisfied. Recently, I asked across an international network in a private learning group, how many people here have been asked to provide feedback on their leaders' performance? How many of your bosses have asked you if they are working in a way that helps you to perform? Take a guess. Zero, none, like 0%. Not one had been asked, ever. And some of these teachers had been in education for more than 15 years. Many had worked across multiple schools in different countries. Is feedback only a top-down process? Is customer and employee satisfaction not a thing in education? Of course, I probed, well, why do you think this is? And responses were really, really interesting. Well, a majority of leaders that I have worked for weren't great, but never asked how they could be. Somebody else said, well, why would they ask me? What could I tell them? After all, they are the boss and I can't do that. I need my job, so I'll only say what they want to hear. I've never been asked. I don't think they want to know. Someone else said, I just couldn't. I don't think they want my feedback, and I don't think it would be listened to anyway. So some really interesting responses there. Peter DeWitt in Collaborative Leadership talks about the gap in the misalignment in expectations and the impact of feedback. Feedback from leaders to teachers and the value of this. And he leads us to question about the reverse, feedback from teachers to leaders. Our teams have different needs and expectations of and from leadership today. They don't want a hierarchical leadership model leading them. They want people who build culture. They want people who care, who make decisions after considering needs and options and opinions. Leaders who invest their time into them, who connect, who know them as people. Leaders who allow mistakes and coach people through them. Leaders fear feedback. Some ignore it, and some see it as absolutely irrelevant. Wise leaders take the time to measure happiness and satisfaction. Wise leaders keep connected with the impact that they are making. You want more of this? Go back and read You Win in the Locker Room First and jump across to collaborative leadership. There are many answers there.